And so I beg you, let it be me.
Well, greetings from Castle Goring, from Nikki, Aurora, and from me. I have had a wonderful time because I had a great friend who's a priest who came and stayed yesterday evening, and it was wonderful. Two of us just together talking, marvelous. And as you can see, I'm very relaxed today because I have on my old t-shirt from when I did a cup of tea with Lady C at the Edinburgh Fringe in 2016. And I put it on and I've kept it on. So I thought I would dress it up a little bit with a few pearls, because also we're going to be having other pearls. Pearls, hopefully, of wisdom from one of the most edifying and elevating people on earth. But we're going to plunge in with what Nguyen Chi says. Lady C, what do you make of Meghan and Harry's appearance at the Time 100 summit? Let's go. Oh, isn't it wonderful? Oh, Megsie baby. I mean, she is such an important person. She has so much to offer. And didn't she look wonderful in that Ralph Lauren, or should we now be calling it the Ralph Lauren suit? You know, the one that was crinkled and looked as if it was 2 sizes too big, as much of her clothing does look. I mean, this is a woman who is clearly allergic to an iron. I also actually understand she does have something of an allergy towards the substance that people use when they take baths. Now, what is it called again? Let's go. Water. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, did we get a little whiff of something? Well, she was, what do I make of it? She was the keynote speaker. Because of course, she and Ted Sarandos, who has a lot of influence and is calling in a lot of favors, because if his pushing of Meghan doesn't succeed to some extent, it's going to look very bad for him. And there are lots of people on the board at Netflix who already don't like the association. So all stops have been pulled out for Megsie baby to remain the center of attention. And wasn't it wonderful, because she was the keynote speaker and she was discussing, wait for it. Now, this is an announcement directly from her PR people. She was discussing the success of her 3 projects. Her show with Love, Meghan. Oh, Ted, where are you when we need you? Oh, you're in the background, pushing and scheming. Oh, good, thanks, Ted, good friend. Let me resume. The podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder. I think that should be Female Flounderer. And Business as Ever. So she was discussing the success of her 3 projects, all of which are outstanding successes, notwithstanding the fact that not one of them has been, in the dispassionate world, regarded as anything but a resounding failure. And of course, Harry. who's now even more redundant than he was when Prince George was born, and then Prince Louis was born, and also, let's not forget, Princess Charlotte, because she is now the spare. She is the spare to George. So many spares floating around that Harold seems to be not only a spare, he seems to be one of those spare tires that Audi now produces. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Because Audi doesn't produce spare tires anymore. As I keep on pointing out to my children, what are you going to do if you have a puncture? Anyway, she's teasing. Meghan's a tease. Meghan's actually a very good tease. How do you think she got Harry so quickly hooked? Tease in many ways, yes. But she certainly is a tease. And she then dropped the announcement that she was going to have to rush back to California because Archie is much more advanced than his first cousin Louis. And since Louis that day was celebrating his 7th birthday, and Louis was all over the papers with his charming gap-toothed smile, Meghan had to make the point that Archie, Prince Archie Bunker, Sussex, is much more advanced than Louis. Louis is losing his teeth at 7. Archie is about to lose his first tooth at 5. Now we need to remember that Archie has been always the most advanced child possible. Because do you remember Archie's first word was crocodile? And Archie also asked that his great-grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, give him a waffle maker so he could make waffles. I suppose they were going to accompany the roasted chicken that his parents used to specialize in. So advanced. And we, of course, are supposed to believe all of this claptrap. But of course, Meghan had to make the point that she did go on about it, because she said, and I'm going to quote, it was equally important. Sorry, I've got to get this right, Mr. DeMille. It was equally important to me as Archie losing his first tooth this week, which is about to happen. He's much, much more in advance than his cousin Louis. Notice, 2 years ahead. And I just hope I'm back home in time for it. It all matters. And when you look at your life from that perspective, which frankly, being a parent is the most illuminating perspective, because what is so big somehow becomes microscopic in importance to what's happening with your children. That's certainly how I feel. That is when I'm not sucking up to billionaires in Nigeria, or going on the Bolivian marching powder trail in Colombia and flirting with the husband of the vice president who ends up loathing me. But that's another story altogether. But let me continue with the real important thing. That's certainly how I feel. You just make time to do it all. And I think maybe that's what is the dream. Notice, Meghan makes time. Meghan, the goddess, makes time. Well, of course, Harry is now so clearly despair, that he was totally ignored. He was treated with a disdain that is truly astonishing. And one wonders, when is that man, if ever, going to try to scratch in the backyard of his life and come up with some dignity? Not pride, dignity. Then, of course, what did they then do? They then also, on Wednesday evening, they got involved with their censorship campaign, notwithstanding the fact that they have affiliated themselves, and I say this as an ambassador of SOS Silence of Suicide, and I know how truly important protection is, but not censorship. They were there yet again, as Tina Brown has rightly said, they are disaster tourists. And they were hopping on the bandwagon, taking advantage of parents who have lost their children, where sometimes social media was involved. But social media is something that parents should be policing. All phones have controls. And I'm not blaming parents when their children circumvent the controls. And I'm not saying there's not a problem. But government censorship is definitely not the answer. But of course, they had a board. I mean, the ghoulishness of Harry and Meghan, capitalizing upon the misery and the tragedy of people. Harry and Meghan's only interest in controlling access to social media or any media is to shut people up and shut down all the stories about the Magnancies and the Meganian bumps and the bizarre way that they have presented her Magnancies to the world. It's got, and they have no connection whatsoever, none, because they are not parents who have lost children. They have no connection save their desire to hop on a bandwagon, to use it and manipulate it and exploit it for censorship, so that people will stop asking, Meghan, how is it that when you were 3 months pregnant, you looked 8 months pregnant, and when you were 6 months pregnant, in the morning you looked 13 months pregnant, and in the afternoon you looked 3 months pregnant, and in the evening you looked 3 years pregnant? I just think they are so reprehensible and disgusting that they really just are such turn-offs. Anyway, Tears and BJs says, I love that name. And let's not forget, Harry used to be called BJ's Harry in the early days when he drooled as Meghan was across the room. Oh, Meg, oh, please look in my direction. I need your attention and maybe another BJ. And they certainly used to perform at dinner parties as if she was a bitch on heat and he was a dog who was going to be dogging the bitch on heat. Tess and BJ says, I would have loved to see the look on Ted Sarandos' face when Muggsy, that's a new one, gave him all the credit, in quotes, for setting them up with multiple Netflix TV series, stroke pointless vanity projects to keep the spotlight on them, even though their shine has long since worn off. Well, my understanding is, and my bongo drums could be beating out the wrong tune, but somehow I don't think they are, that Meghan is sufficiently canny as to appreciate the fact that what she needed to do was, by giving credit to Ted Sarandos, she was tying him up in knots so that he would not be able to jump ship and dump her, so that he couldn't join the expanding circle at Netflix that wants to see the back of her. Clever move. Let's not deny it. It's a clever move. Rose G says, or Ross G says, while I am watching you, Lady C, Meghan with Harry has just appeared on TV saying sorry. Sorry. She sorry. Sorry. Saying she is happier than she has ever been. Why do they put this irritating nonsense in my face? Very annoying. I will change channels. Yes, she took the opportunity of ratifying the reality of her life, which is, you need to watch what I'm doing. You need to watch what I'm saying. You need to follow me, not only on Instagram, but everywhere, because I have the keys to the magic kingdom. I have a charmed life. I'm a charmed person. I'm a great success. Everything I do turns to gold. Yeah, it does. And who's happier than I am? Nobody. I just love my husband. Now, Harry, just sit down and just get out of my way until I'm ready for you. Honestly, I just love him so much. Oh, H, just leave me alone. I just can't get enough of H. Just can't get enough of him. And I'm so happy. And I'm the greatest success. Everything about me is successful. I'm a successful dresser. I'm a successful hairdresser. Look at the way my hair looks so wonderful. And don't follow those idiotic people who say that it's bought. My hair isn't bought. The Turkish virgins, no. My hair is natural. And it's absolutely straight with envy. Do you see why it's important for her to say how happy she is? She is trying to sell us not only her dream, but the lie that she is somebody worth emulating. This woman who has lied about the King and the Princess of Wales being racist, who has lied and caused nothing but trouble within the British nation and the Commonwealth about race. This woman who has destroyed her birth family and her marital family. She's happier than she's ever been because she's such a success. Just look at the ratings. Well, actually, don't look at the ratings. That you mustn't do. Look at the press. Look at the press. Look at what Vanity Fair says. Look at what page 6 says. Look at what Elle says. They all say that As Ever is a great success. And if they say it, it's got to be so. They all say that With Love, Meghan's a great success. And when they say it, it's got to be so. And everything about me is not only successful, but enviable and happy. I'm happy. I'm happy. I have the most charmed life on earth. Why does her husband look as if he's sucking poison? That's the question to ask. Oh, I don't understand how this has happened, but the name of this person has been left off, but I'm going to read it out in any event because it was a very good comment. All the A-listers are either jealous or racist or both. That's clearly why they don't want to be anywhere near MM. Very well observed. You notice she hasn't been able to get one X-list person, much less a P-list or a B-list, or she's had to get the Z-listers. She's had to get her hairdresser. I mean, I ask you, whatever next? Really, when you are reduced to having to rely professionally upon your employees, not in the capacity upon which they are employed, but as if they are celebrities and as if they are figures of national interest, you know that the bottom of that barrel has definitely been scraped. But let's not forget, I was at the Times Summit 100 at Lincoln Center, and I was the keynote speaker, and I celebrated my 3 outstanding successes. I'm so wonderful, I just tell you. Isn't it marvelous? I'm just so wonderful. And so modest with it as well. But you do notice that now that I'm such a huge star, I don't even bother to acknowledge that jerk of a prince. Sorry, that wonderful husband of mine. Anne Pountney says, she has sent a jar of jam and jelly cat toy to the weatherman on Good Morning Britain because he stood up for her against Piers Morgan. His name is Alex Beresford. He's the weather forecaster. And in my opinion, he was disloyal to Piers Morgan. He behaved in a totally unprofessional and reprehensible manner. And he used the fact that he is someone of colour to help to bring Piers down, because Piers had the unmitigated gall to speak the truth about Meghan and to say that he didn't believe a word of the many lies she told. Well, Alex Beresford's message was, Meghan's a proud, confident woman of colour, and I'm a guy of colour, and you've got to believe everything Megsy Baby says. I mean, it's beyond belief that she would then show how low and mean and petty she is, and also how desperate she is, that she is sending products which, according to them, have been sold out to somebody who didn't even solicit them. I mean, this shows how totally desperate that woman truly is. It's not a sign of appreciation. It's not a sign of gratitude. It's a sign of desperation. It is also a sign of failure. Can you imagine? I mean, but of course, my understanding is she's desperately trying to find a way of getting rid of Piers. I don't think she's going to be succeeding anytime soon. I know there are many people she'd like to get rid of. She'd like everybody to believe that she is the wonderful, marvelous, just humanitarian, so loving. Every other word is love. I just believe in love. And if you don't do what I want, I'm going to mow you down. Mersthamger says, am I alone in enjoying the circus that is the Harkles? No, you're not. I mean, as you can see, I'm enjoying myself thoroughly. She is so preposterous, and he is so beyond pathetic. And one would have sympathy for him if he had not been so disloyal to people to whom he owed a duty of care and loyalty. So they really do deserve each other. And it is a circus. And remember, Harry said that the royal family wanted to turn his life into the Truman Show. Well, you notice the royal family never turns its members' lives into any reality TV show. But Harry and Meghan have turned their lives into a reality TV show. And, oh my gosh, look at that, a duck. I love things that end with UCK. Yeah, and I regularly employ them. Yes, it's a great way to success. You need to remember, you've got to have luck. You've got to quack like a duck. And you've got to know all about tuck and suck. And let's not go further up the alphabet because we certainly don't want to reach the letter F. Not a chance. Not a chance, because then my mouth might slip and the truth might come out. It is a circus. And she is jumping through hoops at the moment. The whole thing is orchestrated to a large extent, as I pointed out some time ago, because they and Netflix, well, Ted Sarandos and his crew at Netflix, not the rest of them, are desperate to try to retrieve what seems to be an irretrievable situation. Jacqueline Blackburn says, imagine what a wonderful life they could have had in the US if they didn't need so much attention. Millions of dollars from Papa and the deceased Mama could have been enough for a beautiful house, view, peace, and tranquility. It's ridiculous. Well, they didn't want peace, my dear. They are both extremely aggressive. They want war. They want chaos. They want confusion. Harry is at war with his father's government. Harry is at war with the press. Meghan is at war with anybody who doesn't give her what she wants and anybody who she feels might stand in the way of her desperate need for success. Something that eludes her with every day, even more obviously. I mean, Meghan has perfected the art of failure. It's really quite extraordinary. And at the very moment that she's perfected the art of failure, she's pretending to be a success. But you're absolutely right. Had they been different people, had Harry been a little bit stronger and a little bit less of a meow-whipped nerd who forgot every single one of the teachings that would have kept him on the straight and narrow to the extent that he used to be sufficiently on that he could actually enact periodically when he was in the public eye. Hail fellow, well met and charming and down to earth. All of that's gone. He's arrogant. He's sour. Meghan has sucked anything positive out of him. Well, they didn't call him DJ's Harry for nothing. So, looks as if she sucked the life out of him. Interesting, no? Interesting. And she, this insincerity, the desperation, the arrogance, the hauteur, the haughtiness, she is so desperate, and the words that come out, trip out of her mouth, the word salad that is perpetually being tossed. I mean, she's a real tosser, let me tell you, in all the meanings of the word. And have you noticed that when Meghan speaks, she doesn't actually make a point? She cobbles together words that are supposed to paint a picture of, well, I'm a wonderful person, so I'm going to use the word wonderful. And I'm an intellectual, so I better use the word intellectual. And I'm very loving, so I better use the word loving. And I mean, I can't mimic it because my brain goes directly to the heart of the matter, and my tongue then follows. Meghan's brain is, let's see what we can paint. What picture can we paint? And I just throw in all sorts of words. But character is destiny, as I have said time and again, because I didn't say it originally. Heraclitus said it, and it's absolutely right. And you really don't need to be a fortune teller. All you need to do is nail somebody's character, and their character will be sufficiently predictive that you can anticipate what is coming. And I tell you what I anticipate is coming. More desperation from Meghan. I'm really interested to see what Ted Sarandos is going to do. Let me leave it at that, because we're going to wrap up with what Space Cat Moonbeam says. Lady C, you are a delight to listen to. Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoy listening to me. Can you keep talking about the lively situation as it unfolds, please? Thank you for all the work you put into informing and entertaining us. Love to Mickey and Aurora. Mickey and Aurora send love. And I have to say, Mickey has been giving me some concern because Mickey has been diagnosed with a heart problem. But I am hoping that it's in hand. One of my Springer Spaniels, Charlie, as we used to call him, he was Charles Ons, Roi de France. That was on his passport as well. And Charlie had developed heart problems and he lasted for years with them. The only thing is there's a downside to heart problems because the medicine that they're given to keep the heart pumping, etc., it's done in tandem with diuretics. So they're very inclined to to do piddles. And what I used to do with Charlie was I had a cat litter tray that I always had by me. And as soon as I saw him getting ready to, I'd jump up and push it onto him. So he did it in the cat litter tray. And maybe I'll have to do that with Mickey. But shall I tell you, I'm happy to do things like that. I really am. I don't know about you, but I think when you love an animal, of course you want them to last as long as possible. And if there are little inconveniences, in my opinion, it's a small price to pay. So, but fingers crossed, Mickey is going to be all right. It's early days yet, but fortunately, I am the patron of the Cavalier King Charles Club. So I got in touch with them, and they have put me in touch with the leading canine cardiologist in the country. And his office phoned me today to organize for me to send Mickey's medical records so that I will make absolutely sure that Mickey gets the absolute best treatment. I had hoped that she would not have developed heart problems. It goes sometimes with the breed, and I really thought she would never develop them. But it's at hopefully the early stages. So I'm getting sidetracked. Let me continue. Can you keep talking about the lively situation as it unfolds, please? Thank you for all the work you put into informing and entertaining us. Love to Mickey and Aurora. Well, my information, which I sometimes post on X, because I've been very fortunate to have messages from my bongo bongo drums. For instance, I was, if not the first person, one of the first people. I mean, I know it's a huge story, so I don't know, and I don't really follow it particularly closely. And I know there are many people out there doing wonderful, sterling work on it. And actually, their work is so excellent that they have been assisting Bran Friedman in coming up with information about Blake Lively and her quite frankly bizarre behavior. And my understanding is that she is in hot water. And no matter how hard she tries to brazen her way out of things, There is no way she's going to be able to. And it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. Because I said some time ago that I was told that it was affecting their marriage. So I will leave you with that at this point and say thank you very much for listening. I hope this has been of some interest to you. If it has, please keep the questions and comments coming in so I will know what subjects you would like us to be covering. Okay, thank you. Take good care. And if you have truly enjoyed this, would you care to like, share, subscribe, press the notification bell, and Godspeed. Bye-bye.